LLC. I left the mic open for a reason why I left it open is because we just want to see the reaction of what we're going to get from people who sell these products and how they're going to react to what we're requesting. So what I'm requesting is that customers start demanding, asking for people that are selling screen paint products to have tests ready to go before they make a purchase. One of the things which is going to raise a lot of red flags is that if you see anybody who's making these products and they are not, they're just now showing you tests. These are tests you should have saw long before the product was ever sold. This is why anytime we develop any form of technology or screen paint, as we have new stuff coming out under 57, you will notice that you can't buy it. Now, we've had some people come in, they're not customers, we know what they are, trying to say, hey, can we buy this particular rarest product right now? No, we can't sell that to you. We can't sell you anything until we have tested the product and we know exactly what the product can do. Because this is how we design our specification sheets. Our specification sheets go by the testing of what we have to put the product through. So with that being said, that's the reason why we have tests of our products before we ship them out. And this is why we have these test demo pages, because all these tests were done before the product could ever receive a batch number or a label or anything like that whatsoever. And if they did have labels, they still can't be launched without proper testing. Now, the reason why this should be a very hot topic, and the only people that I know that will be upset and angry and upset over this is not the customer. The consumer is not going to have a problem with seeing a product tested before they purchase it, or it should have been, as a matter of fact, before the product ever launched, should have been tested. This is something that a person who's developing screen paint should have did right from the door before ever selling the product at all, period. So this is something that we tell the consumer to ask these questions. These are questions you need to ask. This is why we have so many demonstrations on black versus black, due to the fact that, as I said before, we like to prove that our products can't be matched by house paint or micro mesh, or basically any kind of black fabric or anything like that. We had a customer a couple of days ago purchase a product from us, and they were going to be using this on micro mesh. Now, again, the topic question always comes up, well, why do I need to buy the product? I can just use black micro mesh and get the same results. And we wanted to show them that you can't do this. And this is what happens if you use micro mesh without our product. Our product actually has the ability to draw white light, because it's a formula where a surface such like so cannot do so, because it doesn't have that capability. It wasn't meant for that. So you have to be to show that off. One of the things that come up a lot on forum sites or any place where we're actually displaying our products is, can I do the same thing with black paint? I get that too many times to count. And we have to be to go in and show that there's a difference between our product and black paint. So if we have to go through this at the end of the day, if we go through all this testing on our products, I don't see why other people who make screen paint products can't go through the same procedure. What is the difference between your product and another household grade paint, other than Behr Silver Screen, the Slip Silver Micro Blend by Amazon, the Behr Screen, I think it's from Home Depot, yeah, and over there at let's see what I have at Lowe's. Lowe's, I don't know what Lowe's has. Lowe's, I don't know what kind of gray paints Lowe's have. We know we test a lot of black paint over there, but I don't know what they have for gray paints. But I do know that Sherwin-Williams has quite a bit. They have an entire color pattern of gray paints. So, like I said, the only people that are upset and angry with what we're saying are people who haven't tested their products. Because anybody else who's done tests wouldn't have an issue. Now, for those of you who think, okay, yeah, it's a good idea, and it is a good idea. For those of you who think that what's the harm that can come of it, a lot of harm can come of it if a person can't show that their products are tested. I explained to you about a fellow by the name of Crow 1176 who did this test, and he failed miserably on both attempts. He did one on bare silver screen where his screen paint matched, and he did another one on the network grade 773. This actually raises a huge flag on screen paint products that need to be tested before they're shipped out, before they're sold to the consumer, so the consumer knows 100% that they're getting a screen paint product and not a house paint. So we have this section here on the website called the blacklist. Now, the reason why we use this person as an example, because out of all the other screen paints we've seen so far, this is the only person who did that test. He's the only one that did it. But again, as I said before, if his product was tested correctly, he would have realized that he would have matched these paints easily and probably would have went in a different direction of probably making a product that would have not matched house paint at the end of the day. So this is what I show people who want to get into this field, or people who basically, if you haven't tested your product, this is literally what the fate your product is going to face. So in these demonstrations here, not this one right here, that's something completely different, but it does involve house paint. In these demonstrations here, these videos are no longer found. The user removed them off his site, either marked them private or deleted them off the account. But you will see that this is a screenshot right there from his product. His product perfectly matched a household product. And this is extremely embarrassing when this is what happens when you don't test your products out. This is extremely embarrassing when you put your screen paint on such a high pedestal, and then you turn around and you match an everyday household product that the customer, he or she, can literally go pick up at any paint store and do the exact same thing. So there's nothing really special about the product they're talking about. And this is why customers need to request for products to be tested before from the seller. They need to be tested before they give them any money, or do any purchases or any transactions. They need to be to show that their product is not going to match house paint. Now, the sad part about this is if they're just now doing these tests and they've been selling this product, that is an extremely high red flag that the product was never tested to begin with. They're just now doing these tests. So it's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't scenario. If you're just now doing the test and you've been selling this product for some time, it shows that you never tested your product and you don't know what you're doing at the end of the day. Matter of fact, you can't even design a specification sheet because you don't know the cans and cannots of your product because you haven't properly tested. And this is something we tell the consumer at the end of the day. This is what you need to request from the seller. Make sure that he or she can show you the difference between house paint and that product. Request for that demonstration to be done live. Now, as I said before, this is a fellow who ended up matching house paint. It shows that his product was never fully tested to begin with. Also, too, as I said before, he sold quite a bit of this. I'm pretty sure he sold quite a bit of this. And consider the customers who now know that the product that they purchased for $95 that's sitting on their wall right now, that they just purchased an overpriced house paint. This is why we're telling customers to request these tests. Request for them to go in, and now you can request us all day long. We don't care. Our tests are done. That's why we have tons of test demonstrations. This is why the 57s are not coming out until they are properly tested. All our technology has to go through testing before we can actually launch it. But this is why we are requesting and telling customers that before you buy a screen paint product, ask them, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you put that product next to some bare silver screen, some gray paint, anything at the end of the day, so I can see that what I am buying from you is an actual screen paint product or something that I can literally do myself. And that's why you need to request this. And this is what happened to this fellow who basically went in and matched a house paint, a product he was selling for $95 on his website that matched the house paint. Sad thing about this particular individual, he still continues to sell this product even though he knows he has matched the product. So that's something else you really have to worry about too. that they're going to be that bold. I mean, that's extremely bold to match a product out of regular house paint and then turn around and still continue to sell the product on the website without caring. That is a person that is capable of doing anything. I would not trust that person with a credit card or my shipping address. This is why you have to request for products to show test results. If they get on camera and they're showing you test results after they had long ago sold that paint, that's an even bigger red flag. Because you mean to tell me you don't know how this stuff is supposed to react and you're selling it? Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It's the reason why when people ask this question, like I said, we just had a sale going a couple of days ago and they were going to be doing spray and micro mesh. We have to be to show a difference between our product and black micro mesh, which we can do. We have those test demonstrations on display. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Just the basic being able to show if the product doesn't match house paint is just the tip of the iceberg. We talked about today about contrast. How much of your screen can produce a 100% contrast? And one of the problems we have here is I see some of these screen paint products out here on the market saying things they shouldn't be saying, as in saying a gray screen has the capability of being able to read black light and be able to produce a 100% contrast. It is definitely a lie. That's not going to happen. If that was the case, if you can read contrast, you can read contrast with the lights on. It doesn't make a difference, lights on or off. Mostly lights on, you should be able to see that contrast. So this is what you got to be careful about. You have to make sure, as I said before, not talking about contrast right now because we did that one already. You have to make sure that any screen paint product, including us, that you have to request and ask for test demonstrations. You want to see results. What's the difference? I can show my customers at the end of the day what's the difference between our products and black paint and black fabric and black film, and you name it, we've done it. But when it comes to a lot of these other screen paint products out here, we don't see this. We don't see these tests. As a matter of fact, I don't even see a test page. I go to the website, I'll go look around, and we don't see test pages. And it's not just with that. It's also, too, with some of the certified companies, too, who make these screen paint products also. We don't see any test results. What is the difference between your product if I were to go out and get some bare silver screen, or to get some network gray 773, or some what's that cup called, something mist, I think it's called gray mist, silver mist, I think it's called silver mist. I forgot the numbers on that one. They're from Sherwin-Williams. And what's the difference? You know, like I said, bullseye primer, what is the difference? And this is why the customer needs to request. Now, like I said, we received some really angry messages. And like I said, that wouldn't be from customers. Why would a customer be upset because we were requesting for screen paint makers to do these tests? Why would a customer be upset over that? Why would a customer be angry over something like that? They're not. That's the sellers that are upset and angry because they don't want to do these tests at all. They want to ignore this. And you can't ignore it. It's something that needs to be done. This is a test that needs to be done. Because the customer needs to know 100% that they are buying what they are buying. And that's what I said. That's why I left the mic open. Because, again, interested to see if any of these people come in and start screaming and carrying on and ranting and acting up. Because, like I said, the only ones that would be upset about this are sellers. Customers wouldn't have a problem with having someone test the product before they buy it. If you're telling your people at the end of the day that people can trust you on what you sell, what you do, then this should not be a problem when the customer requests this. And I myself, as a merchant, as a seller who makes our black screen paint products, we are advising you to ask these questions. Do not go by what they say until you see test results. That's how you do business. That's how it's done. And for the sellers that are upset and angry over this, well, tough cookies. You should have tested your product before you started selling it. Because again, at the end of the day, the consumer has the right to know if your product is going to match a house paint. If you're angry and upset by this, then it shows that you haven't done your job. What's the problem? Now, for the individuals who emailed us, which we really don't care at the end of the day, what is your problem? Are you upset because we basically pointed out that customers should ask this? If you're upset by this and you're bothered by this and you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, as I said before, where are your tests? There are going to be several tests we're going to be requesting. Now, mine is just the tip of the iceberg. This is nothing. This is nothing at all. You have so many tests that are missing. We're not talking about one individual, not him. We're talking about so many individuals. You have so many tests that you're missing right now. The hardest one to get through is make sure your product doesn't match a household paint. We literally have so many demonstrations of our product going against black paint and all different forms of surfaces that you can possibly think of. That is not even funny on how many tests we've had. We just did it for the sake of just for fun of the fun, for having fun with it. I love doing the black versus black test. I can't wait for doing it on the 57. I can't wait. Where you guys are scared to death of these tests. Maybe it's because people are going to figure out that they can make your product. That's why you're afraid. If not, you would have had the test done a long time ago. Just no way in the world that a product should be matching that close to a house paint. Shouldn't be. That is way too close. Way too close for a screen to match that close. Now, for those of you who haven't done these tests, I would suggest you pull your products off the shelf as fast as possible. Because if one customer goes in there and requests that request from you, they ask you to basically do that side-by-side demonstration against gray screen paint products or house products, and you feel that you're going to, you may match one of these paints, I would suggest you pull the product as quick as possible. Go back, redo your tests all over again, do them right, do them correctly, and then display them so that way the customer knows exactly what they're buying. Not this nonsense right here. Because this is what's going to happen to you if you don't do your tests correctly. You're going to end up like this fellow over here. It's not going to go well for you. So, let's see. That's basically about it. I mean, good thing none of you guys are talking about outside I hope you're not doing any talking about your products through outside demonstrations, because you know how we do outside demonstrations. You don't want us going in that department either. I had somebody send me a message telling me stay in my lane. No, I'm in my lane. So you want me to stay not in your lane where you don't do tests. We do tests, but you guys don't have to do tests. We're honest with our customers and show our tests up front. You guys don't do that. So no, we're in the right lane. Trust me. The problem is that you're not in the right lane. If you're bothered by this, like I said, this upsets you. That's why I left the mic open. Coming here ranting and carrying on, it just clearly shows at the end of the day that you know you should have tested your product. And the fact that you're not in here clearly shows that you have to bite and hold your tongue. Because if you show any sign of getting upset or angry over this, you clearly outed yourself. And even more, you're going to out yourself even more because now customers, when they come to you, they know exactly what to say to you. I'm going to teach the consumer how to basically direct certain questions towards screen paint makers so you know exactly what you are getting. Oh, please direct them toward us. This is why I go to forum sites all the time, so I can sit in there among all those people and I can basically have them question my products, and I can back it up on every level you could possibly think of. Ambient light rejection technology, we're experts. We can produce screens off ceilings if we choose to. Screen size capability, 250s outside, 18 feet back on a $270 projector, 720p. I've done so many outdoor demonstrations, it's not even funny. Paint on demonstrations, been there, done that. Certified, crushed there, been there, done that. Different caliber projectors, been there, done that. Ultra short though inside, ultra short though outside, 1,000 lumen demonstrations outside, inside. We've done all those tests already. We even constructed entire environments for screens. We are way beyond, way beyond. We're right now in the field of 3D mapping applications, visual and special effects. So our tests are there. I'm even today going to be sticking in a section of our history of tests we've done on black paint versus our product. You know how far we go back? Since 12s. That's how far we go back. It's going to be quite a lengthy page, probably over 300 videos long. So our tests are done. And I guess somebody came in one time and said, well, your tests are old. No, not the ones we got on the test page. We launched the Black Series on November the 2nd. So any test behind November 2nd is brand new within this year. So no, tests aren't old. Now we go back to 2012. Yes, that's showing basically our history on how far we go back on testing. This you don't want. All right, well, that's all I got to say. Ain't much to say at all from there. I got to start building the history page right after I get from out of here, start uploading all our test demonstrations. I got a couple of them are pretty cool. We're actually live on camera. I actually made my own 3 different versions of black screen paint products out of everyday house paint and threw it against our screens. Can't wait to get all that together, posted on there so we can actually talk about how insane our tests are. We have insane, crazy tests. We even have a couple of demonstrations where we done out in the middle of snowstorms, rainstorms, you name it, we've been there. So as I tell the consumer at the end of the day, this is what you should ask them. Oh, please do ask us. We have no problem with it. You want to know that when you're buying a screen paint product, that you are getting an actual screen paint and not something that you can pick up at Sherwin-Williams, Home Depot, Benjamin Moore, or any other place at the end of the day that you could pretty much do yourself. If they refuse to do the test, don't buy. If they are just now showing you the test after selling the product, definitely don't buy. Those tests should have been done long before that product ever launched. Okay. I'm going to get out of here because I have much to do. I got this history page to put in today, and I got to start tracking down all our black paint demonstrations. It's quite a lot. It's over 49, so it's quite a bit I got to put into. I might just do an entire grid. Yeah, that'd be much easier because to do it video by video would just take way too long. I'm just going to put, like I did with the demonstration for the outside demonstration. We had to put an entire grid in because like over 200 videos long in there on outside demonstrations dating back to, I say maybe 7 years of videos. We got more than that we have to still add into the grid. So I think it's not done being built. All right, well, that's basically about it. But as I tell you, the consumer, make sure that you ask that you want to see a side-by-side demonstration of these products next to everyday household paints. And you want to request that the demonstrations be done live. That way there's no editing, there's no special, no tricks and trickeries. You can see it all right there. As I said before, you also want to request those products that are claiming to do heavy contrast levels. An easy way to test that out, if you bought a product from the particular individuals, are you really putting a 100% contrast level? Well, a black sheet of paper will tell you the truth whether or not you're picking that up or not. And you can do that. Mind you, contrast levels do not have to be pertained to a dark environment. A contrast level can pick up in fully lit environments with no problem whatsoever because they can absorb light. That's why. So if you take a black sheet of paper and you stick that in the middle of your screen and you turn all your lights on, it's going to remain black regardless. And it's still going to be to pick up the contrast regardless. The problem is it can't receive and understand white light, but it's going to pick up the contrast. It is. So if your screen is really seeing that contrast level that you think you're seeing, then that's how you test it. You'll see whether or not if it works or not. Also, too, those of you who have projectors who spent that $2 million, $3 million in one, it is going to hurt you really bad. It's going to be a serious hurt piece that you really think at the end of the day, because you bought a projector with the high contrast capability, that you really think you're seeing a black level. You're about to find out the hard way. Now, again, buying our technology, yeah, we'll definitely fix your problem with no problem. We produce 100% black. But it's still going to hurt at the end of the day because it's an option you're going to turn off on your projector because you don't need it. And what do you need it for? Screen's black. All right, well, like I said, first thing as a consumer, anytime you're purchasing a screen paint product from anyone, even us, make sure you ask that question, what is the difference side by side of that product versus us would be black paint and then would be gray paint. Make sure you ask those questions because you don't want to end up like this. His customers he has now that have already purchased this product, you can't do anything about it. They're past the date of being able to return or file a complaint against them, and they're caught. There's nothing they could do about it at all, period. And they're sitting up there with a screen on their wall that they paid $95 for that they can't get their money back for it, way past the time, pretty much. And what are you going to do? That's why you have to ask that question before you purchase. You ask us that question before you purchase from us. I'm not saying just them, ask us. You do not want to get cheated. Everything I said before, everything you have in your theater room is tested. Everything is tested, even down to the lights you have on your screen, your projection screen itself, your movie chairs, your projector. Everything in that environment is tested. Even the very paint that you paint on your walls to darken the environment, it's all tested. So how come your screen paint's not tested? There you go. Ask the questions. And if they don't want to answer questions, they want to basically, what do you call it? They want to dance around it, go someplace else. All right. Got to go, and God bless.